Hey Gemini, what's going on? We're here with the timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Eight of Cups. Okay. I just feel surprised by seeing this. All right, Gemini, what am I seeing here? Eight of Cups, Six of Cups, the Lovers. It seems very much like if something that was once not working for you, you may be in fact returning to something, and it's looking like a relationship more than anything. I'm seeing the Fool, so this is kind of like I'm willing to take a chance on it. The Fool is this part of you that wants to sort of like test the waters and see what's out there, but it doesn't feel like with a new thing. It doesn't feel like a relationship with somebody you've never been in like a situation with before. This is definitely you returning to something with someone. So Eight of Cups can be you looking at something that you're involved in, be like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I feel like I'm being called back to something. But Eight of Cups can also indicate that at another point in time, the relationship that you may now be returning to at another point in time in the past, you could have been like, I don't think that this is working for me, or I don't think that this is it for me, or I want to go try to explore elsewhere. Now there's like a coming back around that I'm seeing happening. So Eight of Cups is you like, I'm hoping to find what I'm looking for. I'm looking for deeper fulfillment, connection, satisfaction, like something that is going to just something that I'm going to be able to like be present for and want to be present for, sort of find what I need there. I'm seeing it look like you're definitely revisiting a past relationship, and the Fool can be like, I'm going to take a chance on this. Like I'm seeing that type of energy. I feel like you're on one a little bit here. Like this Fool card is feeling like just really happy about something and feeling extremely optimistic. I just get like a confidence that you're feeling. Maybe too because you sort of already know what you're walking back into. You're definitely hoping to find something. So there is a mission, like there's something that I'm looking for, and I'm hoping that this will be the place that I find that. I get like a giddy energy even. Looks like emotions are being talked about, and so are values. Like emotional compatibility can be having a really, like quite a heart to heart here. There can be a conversation about one having previously felt like disconnected, felt left out, or there could have been something going on, like somebody's health could have been suffering, or they could have financially been in like a pinch or something like that, or just for some reason, circumstances. This can be like somebody wasn't able to be emotionally attentive to you as much as you wanted because maybe they had to deal with like a sick family member or something. You know, it can be like that type of thing, but I'm seeing there definitely be a discussion that's happening about it. Whatever this was, whatever this sort of came to be. So it feels like there's a discussion of maybe what wasn't working before, saying like, I really got to get this off my chest. Maybe too, like I'm seeing you be smart about this, right? You know, really thinking about things. You're not going to go into something and have expectations when you haven't thought about it. I'm saying you have thought about it. So there has to be like a beyond a reasonable doubt. You think that you'll just find what you're looking for here. That is sort of the conclusion, or even what you're hoping to discover, or like this is worth taking the risk in the case that this does have what I'm looking for, like that type of thing. Knight of Cups is going to be, I'm making a move from my heart, or I'm making a move that's an emotional move. And I also see Knight of Cups as being like conversation and discussion about how we're feeling and that being involved. But I will say with Five of Pentacles here, you can feel like something was going on where, I don't know if this has to do with your past with this person or your past with another person, but it feels like there can be a discussion where you could be saying to someone like, in the past, I shared my feelings and felt like still empty, or like you weren't being connected with, or it wasn't being heard, or just like it wasn't helping, or it wasn't doing something. But now I get the sense that maybe there's some type of bonding that can be happening. Like maybe there's more of a sense of relation than there was before. Actually, let's clarify. What is this Five of Pentacles? Because Knight of Cups and Five of Pentacles can be, I'm trying to express myself, or I'm trying to share how I feel, but it like not landing, or like not doing what you wanted it to do, or what you felt like it should do. It can be that type of thing. Like it's useless, you know, that can be the feeling for some reason. What is the Five of Pentacles? And you could have also felt like you were alone in communicating what was going on with you. Okay, whatever it is not a problem anymore, I'm seeing. Circumstances that have been overcome. So, less of a problem now. Maybe before someone like wasn't really willing to communicate emotionally, or there was some type of issue. I get the feeling of someone feeling alone. Like I was in this place emotionally, and I was making choices based off of my heart. Maybe felt like one felt like they were alone in doing that to some degree. Or like it was useless for some reason, like that. But now it does feel like there's a return back into things. Or not. I'm seeing the Death card. Ah. Okay, hold on. Wonder if something wasn't working to the point where it just had to close out. Like something could have felt like it just wasn't possible. And so there had to be a surrendering to the process. I'm going to pull this card over here, but I don't know if it goes over there. I need to see the rest of the spread first, and then I will adjust accordingly. This feels like Eight of Cups could potentially be walking into the Death card, and what this would mean. Okay. I will say this. There can be a little bit of a distortion about this connection. Just a little bit. Because whether the Devil goes with the Six of Cups or the Lovers, in both cases, this can be like I may be sweeping some red flags under the rug here. The Devil can also be trying to like fill a perceived hole within you, emotionally speaking, more than anything. This feels like there's something going on and I'm just trying to find like the missing piece. It feels like that, but looking for it within a relationship. To have Six of Cups and the Devil, this can be like so nostalgic about something that you are totally forgetting the other things that were not sweet and pleasant. And there can be like an override of that happening. So there can be like when I think back, I only remember all of the really good things and I don't remember anything else happening except for like the really sweet moments and things being really great and like that type of thing. I'm seeing that happen like with the thinking here. So if you're having memories of somebody or you're thinking about them, like having the devil be there, it's like only showing you certain memories that hold a feeling of like contentment or happiness and joy. And like the devil, it's like instead of having all of the memories there and all of the history with you and this person, the devil is like censoring it, so you only see like the happy things or the sweet things, you know, the stuff that would make you be like, oh, like this person, we connected so much, like things were never bad with them or they weren't that bad, you know. It can be like that type of thing, like having you feel like things were maybe a bit, it just feels very like pink goggles with this in like thinking back to things. Okay, I'm seeing where this goes. You could have felt like things were very unhealthy in the past with this person, but there can be a part of you that's like having a hard time conjuring that up. Eight of Pentacles and the devil can be sort of an obsession with something that's being done, like an obsession with a commitment, but to the point where things get a little bit off balance. I am seeing the World though, which would make it seem as though this is something that's been like worked on and potentially not something that would be arising, because the World speaks about new chapters, but it also speaks about accomplishments. And so to have the Lovers and to have the World, you can feel like you got to a place with someone where you could actually have, it could feel like you closed out and accomplished what you needed to accomplish, like you basically completed what you needed to complete with them. And the World can not only offer you that closure of the past lessons that you went through with this person that needed to be worked through, but it can also offer you the opening of a new chapter and like a new start. Because the World is a portal, so it will be a close just as much as it can be an open, as they are just two sides of the same coin. And I am seeing Page of Wands, so this can be feeling like I worked through that stuff over there. Like it can be like I worked on my codependency, or I worked on my substance issues, just like throwing things out there with the devil, or I worked on some unhealthy habits that weren't good for me. You know, it can be like that type of stuff. This does feel like an accomplishment. Some of you too, you could have been with somebody that was like really this can be you too, really invested in their work, but to the point where there was a huge obsession or focus upon that as well. And it could have felt like that took center stage in a big way and didn't leave room for much else. But yeah, having the World and having Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck can be like, I want to do this thing, I want to get this started, I want to see where things go. Going somewhere. Okay, what are we looking at? Gemini, you are the first major arcana out here. I'm also seeing Scorpio. I'm seeing Capricorn, and I'm hearing Leo, and I'm seeing Cancer. Taurus. Seeing Venus come out here. Okay. This looks like having to work on like interpersonal things. This can be like values, relationship stuff that needed to be worked on. Stuff that could have been very out of whack before. Also, there could have been some issue with someone's feminine energy, like their receptivity, what they were doing with that. Yeah, somebody could have been like really lacking, I'm seeing. But how's this? We start with 8 of Cups and we end with 3 of Cups. This does feel like a coming back together, like a reuniting of sorts that's happening here. Death card can mean like things absolutely being closed out that needed to close out. So it can be like we went through all of that stuff and we are able to totally close that book. And now there's potential for there to be like an opening of a new one where all of those old things had been dealt with, so it won't be a rehashing. This can actually feel like more of a new beginning than anything, rather than a let's go back and redo all of those chapters and go back into it and have it be the same stuff that's repeating. This feels more so like it will be different things that go on. To have the Death card here, that's what it seems like. For some of you, someone has a Scorpio Venus. It could be Scorpio Venus, Gemini Venus. I'm hearing Leo again. Leo Venus, Cancer Venus, Capricorn Venus. I'm also seeing Saturn here too. Yeah, you could have had like a Saturn Venus situation with this person. Could have, it's in your synastry. Can be other than that. Yeah, I get the sense that what happened was that somebody may have been like, I need to leave this situation, and they could have found themselves in like actually a really like karmic type of situation where they had to, there were things that they needed to do within that. There were things that they needed to accomplish within it. I wonder if Saturn does have to do with this. Anyway, this can be somebody, 8 of Cups, Devil, and the Lovers can be somebody being like, the grass is going to be greener on the other side. Like, leave a relationship to go into another partnership, and then have that be like a very karmic partnership. Not that like everything isn't karmic, but from the standpoint of having to go through some really intense experiences, like a battery of tests that one has to go through within an interpersonal relationship setting, so that one can sort of come out on the other side and be like, I miss having connection that wasn't just me trying to like find that thing that I needed to find within me solely in an external relationship, you know, while neglecting my relationship with myself. Because 8 of Cups and the Devil is somebody like looking around and being like, I want the next shiny thing that's going to be the answer to everything I seek. And having it be the Lovers, it can be very much like entering into a partnership that I think is going to fix all of my problems, only to find that it's going to bring to light what all of the issues were. And it may have been just one of those situations that one had a very hard time coming out of until they resolved a bunch of things. And then at that point, being able to, having the Chariot there shows like all of the interpersonal obstacles, at least all of the really severe ones that wouldn't allow for a functional relationship, to be addressed and to actually be worked through. And then the person comes out on the other side and is looking around like, I'm feeling really lonely, like I'm feeling in a position where I'm really recognizing the circumstances that I'm within, feel isolated, I feel by myself, or I just hate these circumstances, I don't want things to be like this, I'm not enjoying these conditions. But then having the 3 of Cups can be like, but then finding connection again, finding union again, like finding harmony again. And it can also be a card of reconciliation as well, but only because things have been dealt with. A lot of work had to be put in. There can be childhood stuff that had to be worked through as well, or just like history or family stuff, like that type of thing, dynamics. But I'm seeing with the world here, like those things have been accomplished. Like basically the work has been accomplished. Like the testing that somebody had to go through, if you want to call it that, like for lack of a better sort of labeling of what it is, has been accomplished. And it does feel like there's been a real level of change here, because having the death card, it means that like things can actually close out, like cycles can actually close out, and that a person it indicates transformation, and that has occurred. And then the reuniting, or like the reclamation of the energy that can happen after that point, where one is like, actually one may have left a situation to find what they were looking for, had to come face to face with their demons, or whatever you want to call it, like the stuff that they needed to work through, and then that cycle closed out, and then it actually leads them to eventually finding that connection that they were looking for in the first place. It's like that type of thing. And something may have even come full circle for some of you too. Feels like a long emotional and interpersonal journey as well. With the Lovers, having that be Gemini, there can be like communication and thinking that were involved in it. To have the Death card, it can be like psychology and transformation, and that needed to be addressed. Having the Devil, there can be things with obsession and also like ignoring certain aspects of self. And then having the World here, it's sort of that accomplishment of like, I'm actually getting back into a place of equilibrium with myself. Then having Cancer be here, this can be the like touching back, like getting back in touch with the heart space and with that feminine energy. And then having Venus following, it seems like this is something that will now be applied in an interpersonal setting, I imagine, most likely. But yeah, it seems like somebody had to be sort of like fed up with their old ways in order for change to really happen. I'm seeing somebody definitely went through some stuff, but it was also, these things could fall into place. Feels like there's more of a sense of creative liberty or freedom with sort of what happens next after this point. But yeah, it feels like it goes from a relationship that is indicated by the Devil, which again can feel like a very karmic situation to be caught up in, to then shifting over and having it be like a more Venus type situation and having it be the Empress there. This is something where there is like somebody showing up in alignment with their values and like in their best light, like that type of thing, where something can actually be functional and something can actually work. And that could have really been something that was lacking before. Like somebody may have not activated their Venus energy yet, or like really needed to evolve within their Venus energy in order for like connection to be made possible. Having to actually put in serious work and not just walk away when things get difficult, needing to face one's like past demons, again, if you want to call it that, like whatever. The Six of Cups and the Devil is just like all the stuff that needed to be worked through that would have had one not in a place of like equilibrium within themselves, and could have been doing things like having certain problems, and rather than getting to the root of what those things were, bypassing and then not actually taking care of those things, and then having it like rear its head within relationship dynamics. Relationship, completing what needs to be completed here, feels like going through again like all of the lessons of Saturn that it has presented, needing to get better actually being willing to and communicate emotions. I'm seeing that also be a part of it too, like being emotionally expressive, connecting then with the Venus energy and being like, I long for connection, I long for a relationship. Now that I know what my values are, I want something that's going to align with that. The Death card is going to be like all the old stuff like being burnt up essentially, so it's not going to be rehashed or reopened. It means there can really be like a new chapter. Well, more than a new chapter, it's like a new book that's beginning essentially, but the old book like really being finished. And then Three of Cups can be that time of like reunion and coming back together. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.